Well, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Terry, would you lead us in the pledge of allegiance, please? Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can you get the bank balances, please?
Yes. Our general account has let me start over. $530,903.53. Sewer general, $79,890.35. Municipal court, $11,329.61. Corrections fund, $3,354.94. Cash bond, $6,484.26. Judicial training fund, $4,847.42. The 4-5 cent tax, $40,965.37. 7-cent gas tax, $5,252.29. Rebuild Alabama, $28,588.90. Sewer customer deposits, $46,559.12. Sewer capital, $126,702.01. CDB grants, $79.08. American Rescue Plan Act, $3,934.01. Capital savings, $57,347.99. for a total of $946,238.88.
All right, do I have a motion to accept the bank balances and minutes as written?
Motion.
Got a motion from Larry, do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Elizabeth. All in favor? Aye. All right, so the one item on the agenda is going to be tabled. We'll go around to the departments. Laura, you got anything?
No, sir, nothing different this week.
Teresa, you got anything?
Just continuing to audit on the sewer customer deposits and getting those straightened out in the sewer software system. I mailed out 44 letters week before last for severe, critically, I guess you could say, critically past due accounts. And most of those have caught their accounts up. I've still got several that are far behind. I'm just working on trying to get those people in to get them paid up. That's it.
Good. Randy?
No, just being famous.
Okay.
All that.
Just being famous.
All right.
Unfortunately, I didn't have an account, so I couldn't read the whole thing, though. But I did get to see it, though. At least the first half.
Yeah, I read it
Kind of
too.
guy into sending it to her.
It's got to get her to send it to me. That's what it is. Okay. I was so disappointed that I had to have an account to read that now. I was like,
Yes.
seriously.
All right. Let's see. CT's not here. Chief, you got anything?
Yes, sir. Our new RMS systems, they're here, been here last week, this week, training and installing it. Everything's up and running, and we're probably going to be going live with the new RMS system probably tomorrow afternoon or first thing Thursday morning.
This is the body cam system.
No, sir. This is, remember we had that app, the Allen, that was the evidence stuff?
Yeah, this is the evidence
This
software.
is, yeah, and also we're going to use it to replace our, goodness, not eSide, eCrash, eCrime, which is our I know reporting database. And what this does is we're sharing it with everybody that's got that system. And so it also links up with her MSG, which will import all of the traffic warrants and stuff that we have outstanding as well. So if you're doing a case on somebody and you start doing it in, it'll populate and automatically throw up there and say, hey, like flash red, give you an indication that that person's got an active warrant with somebody, with us.
And this database is the one that's going to be linked across the state to at least some other agencies, correct?
Yes, there's lots of other agencies that use this. It's like, you familiar with Spillman, that the sheriff's department uses? Well, this is kind of Spillman's competitor, I guess is what you'd say. They kind of compete. And so most people around here either have Spillman or you have this other software.
Has there been any negotiation with those two are talking so that we can make sure the two databases cross? I'd heard something somewhere, that's why I'm asking.
Which two databases?
With the two databases, because on the warrants for the small municipalities, they're still contained in whatever software program you use, whether it's,
Yeah, oh, yes, that's the MSG, yes, and they're coming tomorrow to start the import of that, to make sure that
and that connects us to the same ones that are on the RSA or RS software, right?
yes, yes.
But if they're on the Spillman software, we're still not,
No, we don't do Spillman.
I know we don't want to, but we're not connected to those two databases are still not connected together.
No.
And I'd heard something, the reason I'm asking, and where I'm getting to is I'd heard something where there may be a merger, but be able to cross those databases. I didn't know if you'd heard that or not.
Oh, well,
And that's
no,
why I'm
I hadn't
asking,
heard that.
because that's still, we're still in two different
That would be nice.
systems, which is why I was asking. I didn't know, that's why I was
Yeah,
asking.
that would be nice if they would agree to allow a patch over.
Yeah,
That
I
way
heard
we can do
something, but I don't know how true it is. But since you were in the middle of mine, I thought you might ask.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know that. Never didn't even, well, they hadn't even mentioned it either.
Just a question, that's all.
I'll ask, find out. They'll be back tomorrow.
All right, we don't have anybody from the public other than Hope. Hope, you got anything?
No, sir.
All right, go around the table, Terry.
Actually, I do have something.
Okay.
I have been told repeatedly to stay in my lane. If I had something that concerned someone else's department, I need to sit down and talk with them and discuss it with them and not just bring something up. So if we have someone, like if I want to talk finances or something, I need to talk to Larry because Larry's over finance. And he and I would work that out because that's his department, instead of just bringing something up. Because I was told repeatedly to stay in my lane, that I was over roads and stay in my roads, and if I had something else, but either talk to the mayor or talk to that department head, and then bring it to the council. That way, everybody's on board. The department head is on board, and everybody's on board. Like I said, every time I'd say something, well, you need to stay in your lane. So I got shut down repeatedly. So I think we need to go back to, we were all told at the very beginning to stay in our lane. If it's not in your department and you want to make changes or suggestions, talk to either the mayor and the department head. So everybody's on the same sheet of music. I'm assuming we still stay in our lane. That has not changed.
But the issue that was addressed earlier during the work sessions, addressing all the contracts that we currently have, contract labor.
But that falls under somebody's department. Does it not?
The one that was addressed tonight does, but we're addressing
All right, well,
them all.
then if that one does, then that department head needs to be made aware of that. Because that's his department. It's like going out on bids on roads and stuff without telling me. I need to know at least we're going out on bid on roads. So we need, and it was shoved down my throat that you need to stay in your department. And so I tried to do that.
All right, so,
That's all I got to say. Thank you.
okay. Here we go. Elizabeth, you got anything?
No, not really.
Okay,
Well, I do. I want to know who is responsible for sidewalks and keeping them maintained. Who is responsible for that?
sidewalks would be the city of Owens Crossroads.
Okay, so I didn't step out of my lane at the last meeting when I requested that, that one up in front of the school area and down, in front of the houses there, that it needed to be checked and cleaned and repairs done to it.
Right.
So do we know if anything has been done to that?
No, I don't.
And then also to clear this up, I did not know that we are to dress who is over that organization or that department, however you want to call it.
Okay.
All
I
right,
needed to start with.
okay.
Okay. On her comment, would that fall under, the sidewalks fall under my department, Tony?
Probably would.
So, see, then I'll take a look at it. I've been real busy lately, but I will take a look at that.
Good.
And and see if, what can be done. It's gonna be a few days, but by the time next council meeting, I will take a look at that. I didn't realize, didn't think about it when you said it the other day, it was about falling to me, and I apologize for not catching that. So I will look into that.
Thanks, Terry. Larry, you got anything?
Where we at on the flagpole?
can't answer.
I know Christie was handling that, and she's not here today. I do know that there were 2 bids. One was
Yeah, we went with.
astronomically higher than the other one.
bid.
I don't know where they stand at on that currently, as far as getting them out here and getting it installed.
Yeah.
I do not know.
I haven't heard her say.
Have you heard of Miss Teresa?
Not a specific date.
Not to my knowledge.
That's all I have.
James, you got anything?
A little history lesson. So, the amendment that was tabled tonight, there's a lot of history to that, and the council member who is now standing in the way of that was part of those discussions early on.
We've already discussed this.
Well, we're gonna put it on camera. And, so, they'll think back to this. They gave contracts to people who couldn't do the job, wouldn't do the job. Job was undone. Money was, I don't know if we ever got that money back or not. The person who this contract directly affects stepped up and bailed us out. And that council member was a member of those discussions at that time, where it was said, if we do a year-to-year contract, I will cut a deep discount. There has not been a single negative remark or bad period of performance. But now all of a sudden, that council member wants to make changes to the contract, knowing that it will cost the city more money. And all I want to know is why, if they're willing to say, which I doubt they will, because they don't have a reason. But more importantly, I want people to know that there was a history and there was an agreement made,
Yeah.
and we're breaking that. And y'all are okay with breaking it and costing us more money
This is a new
without any
contract going forward,
fault
right?
or reason.
No,
Yeah, you have no reason to do this.
you should have out clauses in these contracts.
That's
per
fine.
Matt and Tom.
But if
and
you
we
were,
don't.
but if you were part of those negotiations, when this contract was originally written,
I agree.
there was an
We've gotten a
agreement
little
made.
smarter now.
So but yet you have not done this to any other contract, period.
No, we're looking at all the contracts.
But you suddenly started with this one.
This is the
Why is
first one that
that?
came up.
And no, this was the first one that council member went sniffing around about. And then this was the only one they could come up with. And all I want to know is why.
This is the first one that has came up for renewal since I've been back on the council.
But
I
you've said
have not
in these
been around
meetings,
any of the other ones.
but you've said in these meetings, and you've never once not held your comments. You have had comments to every single meeting we've had.
No,
So you have been a part of every single meeting, whether you were sitting here or there.
no.
And you
I'm
directly
not.
drove the meeting, whether you were sitting here or there. And I didn't call you out on this. It's up to you whether you want to speak or not. But you were the one who was
Oh,
changing
yeah,
the
I know.
rules.
I'm not changing any rule, James.
Okay.
The
And you're
contract
okay with
is
it
up
costing
for-
money.
It's not costing us any money. How is it costing us any money, James? Tell me. Can you tell me how?
You were directly told it would.
Well, I mean,
You were directly told.
Who told me it was directly?
No, nobody knew that till we came in here.
Well, isn't that why you address it with the department who's over it?
I didn't know who the department.
That discussion
was over.
happened
You don't remember
when
that?
we
Because
first
you were
signed
sitting on the council when I was assigned to this department.
All right.
But you don't remember it? You sat in every
You
one of
brought
these
it
meetings.
up. You brought it up.
You sat in every one of these meetings and you're gonna claim you don't know who's what department? Really?
That's not what I'm saying.
That's word for word what you
Oh,
just
let me
said.
explain. Go ahead, Hope.
I'm done, Mr.
can
Mayor.
I?
I'm done. Y'all go.
No motion to adjourn.
No, let Hope speak.
Okay, Hope, go ahead.
From the first time, I have to leave this in because if not, it's going to play out. When we discussed, at that point in time, you guys were in town, you weren't a city yet, everything was a lot slower. And I have done a deep discount
Yeah.
because it was a year contract. Now, he is correct in the aspect of if we go from a year contract to a monthly contract or bi-monthly or whatever we land on.
Yeah,
If it goes outside of a year, if there's a clause for 30 days, that's not a year contract per se. So the price would go up.
Yeah.
Now, in that aspect, he is very correct that it will cost more money.
Yeah.
So
I
that,
understand that,
Okay.
but I'm not asking for it not to go monthly to monthly. I'm still saying go for year to year to year.
But you understand though, if you
And
put a
the only
clause
clause
in there,
I had asked for
but
was
if
that.
you understand, if you put a clause in it that you can terminate at any time during that year, your price goes up. That's been said to you like 4 times now. You understand that once you put that clause in there,
James,
your
I'm
price
not
goes
a
up.
5-year-old child, do not,
All right, so.
you're
We keep
talking
telling
to
you the
me.
same
I
thing over and over again.
understand
You
what
haven't
you're
understood it
saying,
yet.
James.
She understands it, I understand it, okay?
Everybody
Everybody
does.
understands
Huh? I'm not in anybody's defense,
Let
but
her
there's
fight
no
her own
reason to
battle.
keep repeating
now.
stuff.
She hasn't understood it yet.
James, I just stated, and I stated
Hey.
earlier, I
Let her fight her own
I got a
understand,
motion to adjourn. Larry, you got a second?
I understand what you're saying, James. And yes, you want it on camera. Okay, I understand that you're saying if we went month to month and if her contract was terminated, it would cost us more. But we're not terminating her contract. We're keeping Hope. That is
Okay,
protect
I'm
Hope,
gonna repeat
and it
this
will protect the
again.
city
If
too.
you add a clause in there that you can terminate at any time during the year, that contract's going to go up.
Okay, that's fine. Matt said that protects Hope, that protects the town, if
Okay.
we do that.
And I just want y'all
Okay.
to understand, it's gonna cost you
So
more money
our
because
town attorney has
you
said
have you've broken the original contract.
We don't have a contract.
That-
Our contract's expired already.
The contract had expired,
So
James.
again, as long as you understand that you're going to cost us more money with
You're
this.
stating it right now because we don't have a contract.
No, it was actually already
that
stated to
it's
you
gonna
earlier.
cost us
And if
money.
you actually put the work sessions on video like you should, it would have been recorded then too. But it was stated to you then as well.
So, Hope, is this gonna cost us more money?
Yes. It
But I
will.
mean, should it?
Because-
Yes.
Your
it
Yes,
should.
contract
because
was
when you do a year contract where there's no 30-day out.
Yeah.
Because like the social media contract, you guys pay me monthly.
Yeah.
And we have a 30-day out.
Yeah.
But once we change to a 30-day out, the price will go up because I'm not guaranteed for that year.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily that we have to go monthly. We can still pay by the year, we can pay by the month, we can pay by the quarter, whatever. But once that changes from being for a year and gets a clause for both of us, on both sides,
Yeah.
the prices will change.
And how much will that increase?
It depends on the clause. Is it gonna be 30 days, if it's gonna be 60 days? I mean, my
What
fee,
would be better in?
my fee is almost double what you guys pay.
No, what I'm saying is like, which clause would be
If it's a 30-day clause, it's gonna go up
a lot
almost,
more
a lot more
than it would be if
than
it
it would
was
be
a
if it was a
60 day?
60 or 90-day
Okay.
clause.
Okay.
As you go through, because I am scheduling this work and not accepting other work to take its place
Yeah.
ahead of
And you're
time.
losing, so you would
Yes.
expect.
Yes.
So, but-
So, and that is correct, that once we enter in 30, 60, 90, whatever day clauses, then the price would change.
Yes. And as of right now, we're not under contract with you.
No.
Because it expired back
In May.
in May.
We've
So,
had a good faith with this organization for how many years now?
I would, when
And now you want to make
the
changes.
discussions were had, that because the price was raising again, that it would be better towards, and I was taking a gamble on not being paid the last few months on this contract and being better in the fiscal, heading towards the next fiscal year. And so that's where I might not have should have done that, but I was putting my faith in.
She trusted us. That's her mistake.
yeah, I mean, Hope's gonna get paid.
Not if you don't sign a contract.
She will get paid.
Not if you don't sign a contract. That's the problem. She trusted us. She trusted us not to do this.
For a 30-day, a 60-day, and a 90-day, that way they can look at it.
And I'm happy-
And determine which
I think
clause would be
honestly,
better.
she
And
needs
I
to
think
sit down
they-
with the attorneys and see what
and that
clause
was-
they want.
if I'm
and
not
then she
mistaken-
determine the price from there.
Is that what?
As I said before, and in the work session, the attorneys are gonna get with Hope
Yes.
and work it out.
And as I've said,
Okay?
but in the work session, I'm saying now that this should not have to happen. It should not have been, one should not have walked into it today. It should have been addressed beforehand. And I would have told you all the things I'm telling you now versus just slapping somebody with it. And pretending like you don't know who's over the department, which is hilarious.
James, So you want to state you're over the fire department, you're over this department, you're over that. How many departments are you over with? So next time I'll know not to step on your toes.
Ask your husband. He's the one who pointed me to him.
No, I'm asking you.
Why don't you ask your husband?
I'm
He pointed me
asking
to
you.
him. Because you were
That's
here
not
when it
my
was
husband
done.
right now. He's the mayor of
He
West
stood
Crossroads.
up for you awful quick, doesn't he?
He stands up for anybody.
No, it's different when it comes to you. But so since you don't remember, I'm over IT, social media, fire department, and security.
Security as in Jason's department?
Building physical security. I am not over the police department. No, man, I have nothing to do with them except in guidance and help where they need it. Because they have a large IT and physical security presence with the building.
Oh.
And so we work together on those
Let me
issues.
get off the subject, okay, because I do want to know this. James and them was saying something about the second server. Yeah, we got the new server.
Yeah.
Let me ask this, why are we not keeping the first server as well? Because from what I understood from that, and I meant to say something, I apologize for this being here, but
That's okay.
they said that this new server is big enough to hold everything, and they were wanting to know if he wanted us
To recycle the other
to
server.
recycle that.
So.
Does that mean like take it out, like actually
I've actually got
recycle
to
it?
call into them, and I'm waiting on James to call me back. He's been pretty busy, and he just hasn't gotten back to me, because I need to know what his definition of that is.
Right.
And I also need to know if they're recycling it is basically destroying it, turning it in for resale, or putting it back as a, and if they're destroying it, I need to know what their procedure is, because if there's hard drives involved or memory, I have to know how we're handling the PI stuff.
And
And
my
so I've got
question,
to call into him.
my question to that is, like, can we have our RMS system and stuff like that, like necessity stuff on both, and have one as the one that we're currently using and one run as a backup? Is that possible? Does anybody know?
So we don't need a backup.
Okay,
And the reason we don't need a backup is we do an image backup off-site every night.
okay,
And our agreement with Lightwire basically sets us up so that if our server goes down, they loan us a server until we can get back up and running. It's
okay,
cheaper and easier on us because trying to keep outdated hardware, number one, functional. And if we had two servers, we'd have to pay to back up both of them, or we'd have to deal with the imaging of both of them from one to the other.
gotcha.
But part of our procedure,
It's not as easy as having
we could.
well, I mean, it's not as easy as having two, desktop computers and saving here and saving, it's not just that, there's more intricate
Yeah,
stuff.
there's more to it, and honestly, that way doesn't help us because we pay monthly for a secure offsite backup that's totally offsite. And so we don't back anything up in the building. And so everything that's all the
Okay,
clerks, including you guys, have remote access to anywhere, right?
right,
And so if the building disappears tomorrow, we can, within 24 hours, can have you remote access to the server that's offsite.
right, okay, and so, okay,
That's why we
with you
don't
now,
use it
I'm with
for
you
that
now. I
purpose.
didn't, I was thinking server one is like RAM with, 256
Yeah, and the other
terabytes,
thing is
and
when we
the
move
other one
servers,
is an additional.
we moved up and Windows 11's coming and all the security patches are changing, and it's just a nightmare for us to try to keep them full.
Okay.
But I do need to follow up with him on the recycle. I have got a phone call and he has to call me back. And this is where just so you'll know as well, going forward, especially when it comes to data destruction, I need to figure out what protocol we're going to follow going forward and make sure we stick to it, because there's several different acceptable levels of data destruction.
Now, I know, what we did last time with the laptops and stuff that we had, was, like for the police department stuff. What we did was we called, which we can call CT now, and we threw them in the back of the truck. They actually got the grappler and they just manhandled it and just.
And honestly, going forward, probably what we'll do, because even in those states there, you can still recover data off of them. So going forward, there are some shredding companies in Huntsville.
The electronic shred?
Yes.
Okay.
And then physically shred the drive, so there's not a usable piece of the platter left when they're done.
Because I am gonna need that soon, because we do have so
So I need
much.
to get on
I have
that.
built up over the years a stack of, laptops.
We need to get on that anyway,
Extra.
so I will, hopefully James will have a contact. I'm hoping he has somebody he likes to use. If not, we'll find somebody.
Okay,
But I'll take care of that.
good deal.
All right, are we done? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Got a motion, have a second? Second. Got a motion, second to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.